Michael Chen, a millionaire CEO with the most exclusive restaurant in Manhattan, was about to lose everything. Why? Because of one single, insulting laugh. His restaurant, the Gilded Fork, was the jewel of New York City's fine dining scene. It boasted 3 Michelin stars and a client list that read like a who's who of global power. Tonight was the culmination of his life's work. He was hosting a private dinner for Sheikh Abdullah Al-Mansouri, a potential investor from the UAE whose signature on a contract would secure his empire for the next decade. The air buzzed with the clinking of crystal glasses and hushed, important conversations. Michael scanned the room, a smug smile playing on his lips. Everything was perfect. The decor, the service, the 7-course tasting menu meticulously crafted by his world-renowned chef. Then the heavy oak doors creaked open, breaking the spell. A woman, clearly out of place, shuffled in. Her clothes were worn, her hands calloused, and she clutched a bucket of cheap, slightly wilted roses. She was a street vendor, in his temple of gastronomy. A ripple of discomfort spread through the room. Michael's high-profile guests exchanged awkward glances. Michael felt a hot flush of embarrassment, which quickly curdled into anger. How had his security failed so spectacularly? As the woman approached his table, holding out a single red rose with a hopeful, tired smile, Michael did something he would regret for the rest of his life. He laughed. It wasn't a quiet chuckle, it was a loud, mocking bray that echoed through the suddenly silent dining room. "Do you really think," he sneered, "that anyone here would buy your weeds?" The woman flinched as if struck, her smile dissolving. The color drained from her face and she quietly backed away. But what Michael didn't know was that the woman selling roses wasn't just any vendor. His arrogant laugh had just set off a time bomb he couldn't see ticking. Her name was Layla. Just a few years ago, she wasn't selling flowers on the street. She was sitting in rooms just like this one, but as a respected equal. She had been a top-tier translator for international diplomats, fluent in 6 languages, including several complex Arabic dialects. Her life had been one of prestige and intellect until a devastating family tragedy left her emotionally and financially shattered. The streets became her refuge and her reality. Selling flowers wasn't a career, it was survival. And sitting at table 7, watching the entire humiliating exchange with an unreadable expression, was Sheikh Abdullah Al-Mansouri, the very investor Michael had spent the last 6 months desperately courting. Michael had pulled every string, called in every favor, just to get this one dinner. Now, the Sheikh, a man known for his deep respect for humility and tradition, had just witnessed Michael's raw cruelty. The Sheikh slowly placed his napkin on the table, a clear signal that the dinner and the deal were over. He was about to walk out, taking Michael's dreams with him. The CEO's blood ran cold. He had just laughed away a $50 million investment. He opened his mouth to stammer an apology, but it was too late. The Sheikh was already pushing back his chair. Then something impossible happened. The entire room held its breath. Layla, the humiliated flower vendor, didn't scurry out the door. Instead, she straightened her back. The weariness in her eyes was replaced by a spark of quiet dignity. Ignoring Michael completely, she walked directly to Sheikh Abdullah's table. The Sheikh's security detail tensed, but he held up a hand to stop them. Layla looked him in the eye and began to speak. Not in English, but in fluent, melodic Arabic. It wasn't the generic Arabic you learn from an app. It was a specific, nuanced dialect from the Sheikh's home region, a dialect that spoke of shared culture and deep understanding. The Sheikh's eyebrows shot up in surprise. Layla apologized gracefully on behalf of the establishment, not as a vendor, but as if she were the host. She then recited a classic Arabic proverb about how the tallest palm tree bows the lowest in the wind, a subtle yet powerful commentary on humility. She spoke with an eloquence and poise that completely defied her appearance. The tension on the billionaire's face softened. He listened intently, then he nodded. And then the impossible happened again. The humiliated, stone-faced Sheikh smiled, a genuine warm smile. He replied to her in the same dialect, and for a moment they were just two people sharing a connection that no one else in the room could understand. Then the Sheikh turned his gaze back to Michael, and the warmth vanished, replaced by eyes as cold and hard as steel. The deal wasn't just off. Michael felt like his entire character had been judged and found wanting. The truth was far more terrifying than Michael could have ever imagined. The game he thought he was playing was a complete illusion. The Sheikh finally broke the silence, his voice calm but cutting, and in perfect, crisp English. "Mr. Chen," he said, his words dropping like ice cubes into the silent room. "I was testing your character tonight." He gestured towards Layla. "I sent her here. She doesn't just sell flowers, she works for me. She's one of my most trusted advisors, evaluating the character of the people I consider doing business with." Michael's heart stopped. His jaw went slack. The flower vendor? An advisor? It was a setup, a test, and he had failed in the most spectacular way possible. "Your establishment is impressive," the Sheikh continued, "but the man running it lacks basic human decency. We are done here." Michael's $50 million deal wasn't just dead, it had been a mirage all along. His reputation, built over decades, was about to be destroyed by his own arrogance. The story would be all over the business world by morning. He was ruined. He saw his future crumbling into dust, his restaurant becoming a ghost town. Despair washed over him. He was about to beg, to get on his knees, but then Layla did something completely unexpected. She leaned in and whispered something to the Sheikh in Arabic. It was a short, quiet sentence. The Sheikh listened, his expression unreadable. He looked at Layla, then back at the pathetic, broken CEO. After a long, agonizing moment, he sighed. The Sheikh gave Michael one final chance. The conditions were non-negotiable. "First," the Sheikh declared, "you will hire Layla, not as an apology, but as your new director of hospitality, with a salary and equity befitting her expertise. You clearly need her." Michael, stunned, nodded frantically. "Second," the Sheikh continued, "you will donate 20% of my investment, should it proceed, to a fund that helps street vendors and the homeless in this city. A fund that Layla will personally oversee." Michael agreed without a second's hesitation. His business was saved from the brink of oblivion, but more importantly, his worldview had been shattered and rebuilt in the span of 10 minutes. He learned a lesson that night that no business school could ever teach. Respect costs nothing, but disrespect can cost you everything. Today, Layla doesn't just oversee one restaurant. She runs the hospitality divisions for 3 of Michael's establishments. She has transformed them, not just with her business acumen, but with her profound understanding of people. And yes, she still sells flowers, but not from a bucket on the street. She now owns one of the most exclusive luxury floral companies in New York City, supplying arrangements to the very elite who once looked down on her. Michael Chen kept his empire, but he lost his arrogance, gaining a partner and a mentor in the most unlikely of saviors. And he never, ever looked at another person with judgment again, because he knew that true value is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for the humble and the wise to recognize it. Thank you so much for watching. Stories like these remind us that kindness and respect are the most valuable currencies we have. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next video.